All right. Welcome back to another episode of Light Skin, episode 29. One away from 30. Almost there. And we are here. Before that, like, share, and subscribe to our page. We got a lot of good content and more good stuff coming soon. But we are here with Mr. News himself.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Nice title, Mr. News.
Yeah, Mr. News. I like that.
I like it too.
You want to introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Dan HANGER. I work at Fox 21 in Duluth, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yes, their main anchor there.
Yeah. Awesome.
First of all, I thought I saw some of these online, and I thought this was a fake background, like a green screen.
Yeah.
This is all real.
It's all real. You can
like
touch
this
it.
is legit.
Yeah,
I just think it's the coolest thing.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being a part of it with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like always, we're going to start at the beginning. Tell us about baby Dan. Where were you born? All of it. Yeah. We're going back a little bit.
I know. I'm like, do we really want to do this? I was thinking about a therapist sometime, and so this might be it right now.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay, so grew up right outside of Chicago.
Okay.
Like O'Hare Airport there, right in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I was talkative, really talkative, maybe. I never shut up. I kind of whined. I always said, why?
Yeah.
But then I look back and I'm like, well, that's what I ask all the time
For
now.
sure, yeah. It's like some things never change.
Right.
Yeah, that's okay. So, did you have a lot of siblings growing up? Or were you in the mix of kids?
Yeah, so I'm the oldest. My sister is 3 years younger.
Okay.
She annoyed the heck out of me when I was young. Like, I think I really kind of feel bad about that because I kind of terrorized her a little bit because she just annoyed me. You know, I was like,
how many years younger?
Three
okay.
years younger. Yeah. But now I don't want to jump ahead.
Yeah.
But now we're like best buds. So
hell
it's
yeah,
all good.
that's cool.
You know, I think we were just a little too close.
Yo,
then it works when you get older.
Yeah. No, me and my brother is 2 years apart, and we used to really have fight night in the house. My mom couldn't stand it. But now, like, we talk every day, you know, like, that's one of my best friends, you know, love him to death. And we look back on, it's like, man, maybe we was just too close in age, I don't know. Or it's just two boys in the house, you know, that, what else is we going to do? You know, you know.
Well, and I was kind of like OCD, very bad when I was young. My sister was all like, her hair's in her mouth and she's eating her cereal. So I'd put the cereal box between us. And I was like, nah. But I was like, oh my gosh, poor girl.
That's
anyway,
funny.
yeah, no, I wasn't a bad kid.
Yeah. Was it a big neighborhood you grew up in, or? It
was kind of small, right there, because it's so hotels and all that for the airport and everything. So, like, we had I always laugh when we say this, but my parents they worked very hard. We didn't make like a ton of money, but we were able to get some stuff.
Yeah.
And when I say, when I was out in the pool in the back, it's like, hold on.
Yeah.
There wasn't no pool down in the in the ground. This was above, and my dad put it, and he had all his footprints in the bottom. So let's just be clear there.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong if you grow up rich, but when you say the pool thing, people think. No. So anyway, in the pool, so the airplanes it was right near the landing. And sometimes they either had like a late pull up or a late, and it would just shadow the whole pool.
That's wild. Okay.
I'd be like, so close. So, but anyway, yeah.
That did it suck for sleeping? Or you kind of got used to it?
I got used to it. Yeah. That's the crazy part. Yeah. But then, like, when the president would come, you'd see the helicopters would come over and all that. So that was cool. Yeah. It was a smaller town, so we all knew our little neighbors. The school was, I could walk to school. So all that was, like, super nice.
Yeah. So when did you graduate high school down in Chicago, or when did you kind of move up this way?
8th grade, 97.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm 41. That's always fun. 97. Parents got divorced.
Okay.
Good for them.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
For some people, it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Well, instead of being miserable forever. Yeah, whatever. So, that was sad, whatever. So I lived with my grandma for a little bit, and she cooked me so many meals, and I got really plump, right before high school. So when that happened, he stayed in the town of Rosemont. We went over to Des Plaines. Everybody's fine, by the way. We all got along. You'll be fine. Some people don't even have parents. You know? So, so just right across the way there. And I went to high school there, still in the suburbs.
Got it. So did you graduated from Chicago, well, in that area down there?
Yep. Okay. Yep. High school before going to college. So I went down there too.
All right. So when you went to college, where did you go?
Columbia College, Chicago, downtown, Michigan Avenue. I was very scared. That was actually, 2001, 9/11.
Okay,
Our school didn't start till late September, so it was right after the dang thing. I started college.
Yeah.
I'm already scared to get on the train by myself and go downtown, all that. But I did it.
Yeah.
And that was great. Great. Not having great, learning.
And you study, obviously, what is it called? News?
Yeah. What is it? News?
Anchorism?
Anchorism. Broadcast journalism.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like Bachelor of Arts, broadcast journalism. The cool part there was your teachers weren't, washed up book readers over there. Like they were actually in the job.
Okay. Oh, cool. All right.
Working currently. So some of the people were like reporters. I was like, oh man, he's my teacher.
Yeah, that's dope. Okay.
And so they just told it to you real. Like this is what it really is, you know. And so some people didn't like that, cried. Other people, I loved it. So, but the criers are the ones that probably shouldn't have been going in this route anyway, because it's not, it's very fickle in personalities and whatever. I love it. But so that's where it was a great experience, and you needed a real good what is it, SAT or what's the score SAT to get in,
or ACT, whatever.
It's like who cares T.
Yeah.
So they decided we don't since it's a lot of arts, music, journalism, dance, all those different things, your brain's different. So my score would be low, but I mean not dumb.
Yeah.
So they let me in.
Yeah, we're good, and you can talk, which is good.
Yeah.
So what made you go back in a little bit, maybe? What made you want to get into the major that you picked?
I was obsessed with weather. For whatever reason, obsessed with weather. So I had the weather radios on, and I would get in my car, all by myself, and my little white whatever it was, Ford Taurus. I think it was, I don't know, tracking them all over the place. Just obsessed. I'd stay up all night, and then back then, but they didn't really have live radar online, but it started. So I could track the storm. Now everybody's got it on their phone. Everything's fine, but it was cool back then. And then so I liked the weather so much, but I couldn't do math.
Yeah,
and that was like a big thing.
That's a lot.
So I said, well, that's over. Yeah. But I would watch the news for the weather. And I started to get obsessed with like the lighting and the graphics and the background and the sets. Like this, that's what I'm obsessed with this. It's like a really cool set. So I just like started liking all aspects of it. It just like honestly became kind of natural.
For sure. So after college, where did you go right away? Did you stay in Chicago? Did you get a job there, or did you just move and look for something?
So you would like make a little demo reel of your stuff, which would basically be your college stuff from the college TV station that we did, which was good. We had it, big studio and all that stuff. And then you just send it out all over the place. And it was VHS I started sending out, and then I think later was DVDs. It was a pain, like to record and all that. And then so it was Cheyenne, Wyoming called, and I didn't know where the hell that was. And then there was Duluth, Minnesota. I also didn't know where the hell that was. I don't know if I was dumb or what, but I was 19 years old, right? 19 or something, or going to be 20. Yeah, I came here 22.
Okay.
Yeah, so Channel 6 called. So I drove up there. I said, I can drive there. I did the interview. I thought I bombed it, which I think I did, but I think I was just eager. And they're like, okay, yeah. So they signed me then. The first day I was there.
Oh, wow, okay.
Or the second day maybe.
And you say that was in 22?
I'm sorry, that was in 2006. I was 20.
Okay. You were 22. Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right, so you've been here since 06. What was
right as I graduated, yeah.
How was the transition moving from Chicago to up here? What did you think about Duluth when you came?
Well, I was hoping I would be going to. I was so scared for the first job, and I was like, I thought I was going to be cornfield and just like a little station with like two windows.
Yep.
But then when I drove from Superior and you come over and you see Duluth, this huge hill and these lights, and I thought, oh no, what am I getting myself into? Like scared because it looks so big.
Okay.
Yeah. So
which is crazy because Duluth ain't that big.
I know, and then I've seen the big skyline in Chicago. It's like hello. I don't know. It's just how I felt. I was like, oh no, this looks too big. But I just kept going. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, wow, you really had some coconuts, to do it. But that's what I did.
Now, how was it?
Well, what do I think of Duluth?
Yeah, what did you think of Duluth? Other than you were scared coming over. Now I'm forgetting things, but I know overall. I remember being like, I had a hard early 20s, figuring it out myself. You're like figuring yourself out while figuring yourself on the television. It's just too much. It was too much for me. I was too overwhelmed and naive. I don't know what it was, but so I kind of was like learning all different, just like working with each other in the newsroom and personalities and like how am I supposed to be on it. So it was just too much. But
if I remember that. So I was kind of like, these people, I didn't feel like I was connecting with them at the time. And I can't explain it because now everything's normal to me and I love it here and I go back home and I'm like, I want to go back to Duluth, area. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just had a hard time maybe transitioning at first, but Duluth was also a different area 20 years ago. I mean, whether you talk about diversity, acceptance, gay, anything like that, it was very different compared to how open it is now.
Yeah. Was it tough for you in that sense with all that, like how closed off it was, or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, I think that, if we were there, I'm not big one with labels, but I am gay. Yeah. Hi.
I guess.
Yeah, but it's just, I'm not one to be like, that's my number one. Yeah. It's just a piece of the puzzle. But back then, they had JT's was a place in the Maine, and those were like the safe places to go. And it always felt like it was really weird, or we were not going to be accepted. Like with some of my gay friends from who I met at Channel 6, be like, oh, we're going to Dublin. And nothing wrong with Dublin. I love Dublin. Dublin right now, anybody can go there. Everybody can go there. But back then it was kind of, the college kid, somebody's going to, I don't know. It just felt weird. So you just stay in that one spot. But that's where I grew my friend group. And it was straight. Everybody learned a lot. Yeah. And now that pool is still friends today, 20 years later.
And JT, did JT's burn down? Or
no,
was that something else?
So I think that was something before the Maine. There was like some other place, but JT's is where
is that Izzy's? That's right, Izzy's. That, what? And I remember when you started.
You gotta have him on.
Well, you know what? He's a good dude. I love Izzy's too because they do a fish fry every day. Yeah, every day is an all-you-can-eat fish fry. $16. It's the best fish fry I think I've ever been to.
And the venue's fantastic.
It is. It's super fun.
Super cool. And they have good chicken baskets, too, there.
I don't know if I've had that. I did have their chicken cheesesteak. And I'm very picky. Man, you're probably picky with food, too. Coming from Chicago. And me coming from Jersey, I always say, like...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm from Jersey. And I've been here for 8 years now, which I feel like I've been here for 20.
Way longer,
It seemed like way longer. Because I know everybody. Or
Charisma.
I like that word. We're going to use that more in a sentence sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hardest part about coming up here, other than kind of, I just call it old school Duluth.
Right.
Was the food. It was like, what do y'all eat?
Oh, hardly nothing.
Nothing. And everybody told me, oh yeah, you got to come over and have a hot dish. What the hell is that? Right. Every dish is hot.
Yeah, I know.
Until they
I knew it as casserole back
Yeah,
home.
and then when somebody explained the casserole, I was like, we don't eat that. Yeah. Not where I'm, I don't want that. I want, a cheesesteak or a real good piece of pizza or...
Well, now, our pizzas are fantastic. And both Twin Ports, even outside and other places, it's crazy. So I don't know what's been going on, but it's good.
Yeah, it's getting better.
Keeps me here.
Well, I'll say that. Look, and I ain't lost no weight, so it must be.
Well, I'm popping a little, but I'm trying to.
That's all right.
I got a bigger shirt, so you can't tell.
It's nice, though. I like it.
Thanks. Mainstream fast food men. I didn't pay for it. We had a little deal now. Okay. Finally signed back up, so they'll give us a little bit of clothes, and then they get some ads or whatever. So they're fantastic. Too. So no hate against Duluth.
Not at all. No.
It just it has transformed in a positive way, and 20 years in Chicago is different than what it is now, and whatever. So no, I stayed here because first of all, the water. Hardly any traffic, sense of community, diversity is so important and continues to grow. It's still lacking, but it's safe. Safe is another thing that's important, and then weather. It's like we can control basically what we've got going on.
Yeah, it's cake, a little bit of snow.
Yeah.
You said something earlier too about like when you go home. Now it's like, I want to go back home, and I remember when I first moved here. It was like every weekend I was like, man, I just want to go back to Jersey or PA. And it's like, but now I don't ever want to go. I don't like going back where I'm from. The moment I touch down, I'm thinking, man, I'm trying to go back to Duluth, and which is totally, like I said, the opposite of when I first moved here. And it's because like that sense of community. Yeah. And when you really get plugged in, even though you have these different facets of Duluth, East, Central, West, Fond du Lac, which all seems very different. We had Derek Medved on the last time, and he even talked about, well, I said, oh, you from West Duluth? He's like, no, I'm not from West Duluth. I'm from
Gary, New
Duluth. Yeah, it's like, Gary. Whoa, all right, but, it's serious, out here. But when you get plugged into the communities, no matter where you go, you are accepted. People really are. nicer than they originally come across. They just want to know who the hell this person is that's moving up here.
Yeah, what are you doing over here?
Why are you coming here with our 80,000 people?
Right.
Trying to fuck some stuff
Right.
So,
No, that's true. And and I think people, for the most part, everybody's got maybe their bias just because of the way that they lived or whatever, but they keep it mostly to themselves sometimes, I think is good, and maybe they're still listening and hopefully, do whatever they do, but yeah.
So
by the way, if you don't start learning your boundaries when you report to, they're like, no, that's 1 block over. That's Lincoln Park. Yep, got it.
Which is big and upcoming right now too. It's still growing. I just had that Oasis Del Norte. I know it was a truck before, but now they have their brick and mortar.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if have you been in there yet?
No, but I've had the truck.
The store and the truck is two different. If y'all listening, don't get mad.
Yeah.
Eduardo, I love you to death.
Yeah.
But the truck was solid. It was okay. What they did in that restaurant, it's the best Mexican food to me around. And that's tough to say because I love Aztecas. And everybody like Guadalajara's out in Superior, but they got a steak burrito there. Probably the best steak burrito I've ever had.
And you got a good palate.
Yeah, oh yeah. We eat. And I love cooking, and I've had thousands of steak burritos, probably gonna have 1,000 more. This was top 3. Just plugging you off because we
that's right. Yeah, I'll have to go there, but in Lincoln Park, I mean, it's almost like sometimes I'm like, oh man, if that could have only happened downtown Duluth that they've been trying. However, I mean, that's fantastic that whole neighborhood has turned around. I remember when I first started, when you said Lincoln Park, you thought crime. Unfortunately, like you thought, oh, that's rough. You don't go there or whatever, and because it seemed like that's all we were talking about.
Yeah.
About Lincoln Park was when something bad happened. When I talk about the news, but no, I mean to see that turn around and all the businesses work together, and it's so nice.
Yeah, it is. And we had Steph LaFleur on, who's playing right there, and she even talked about how they activated a lot of the spaces down there to kind of move out just the bad things that was keeping people from wanting to come to the area. Not necessarily getting, just gentrifying or pushing people out, but just saying, hey, we know that something good can be here that the community can get involved with.
And they want to.
And they want to, exactly. And I think eventually it'll happen downtown. It's just going to take a little more because it's more politics involved down there.
Right.
And I sit on downtown Duluth and we talk about it all the time. And some meetings is like, gosh, we've been talking about the same thing. But
over and over,
yeah, it's like, all right, how do we figure this out and be proactive about these things? And even not even worried about super big changes all at once, but let's start small. Activate this part of downtown, and then we'll go across over here and maybe up a block and things like that. And slowly, I think we will see it transform. And it's starting to already.
I wanted to say that. So I've been driving down back and forth, whether it's night or day, just to kind of see and keep it. And sometimes I take First Street. First Street's got a lot more work to do, but a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's me, but I swear it's different.
Yeah.
I swear it's different. I've seen more police downtown and not messing with anybody.
Yeah.
They're just patrolling, keeping the cool. Keep it on, keep it going.
Yeah.
And I just felt like it was cleaner again, and a lot of people were about doing their thing. Yeah. And like the east side of Superior Street is filling up.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it is. Fantastic. And then even the west side has struggled a little bit more because at night it gets a little quiet, but I still think that's going to grow and potentially housing down there and everything. So yeah.
So
it's exciting too for downtown.
Yeah. Now circling back, so the station that you originally got hired at, is that the same station you're with now?
No.
Okay.
No, so Channel 6, so that's Northern News Now.
Okay.
And then it was Northlands News Center. And then it used to be KBGR, and then they bought Channel 3. I mean, it's always been a cluster. So they're doing whatever they're doing. And nothing wrong with them. I just don't work there anymore.
See ya.
Yeah, take care. Knock. No, I was fired from there. No, I was fired in 2000. Yeah. Ooh.
Tell us about it. This is what
we're
here for. Yeah. That's what we want.
Because you like the juice.
Yeah.
2006 I got there. Remember, I started as a one-man band reporter doing it all, and that was like that's like normal now. Everybody kind of doing that, but we thankfully have 2 photographers, which is very valuable at our station. But so I find out, I'm the first one roughly. There was some old guy that had done it for a long time. Old Dave Anderson, you're not old, but you were older than me back then. But anyway, so then I was the first one. So I'm going to all these press conferences, everybody else had photographers and reporters, and they're all ready to go. And here I am. I didn't know what I was doing. And huge cameras. I was just like, this sucks. And this isn't what I signed up for. And they had like 7 shows. So I was just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Didn't have enough proper, in my mind, leadership to kind of help me. It was just kind of all over the place. And so nothing wrong with I left on good terms. I'll never forget that. I said, just shut your mouth. You'll be fine. Don't burn your bridges. I never did. I've always been nice and all that, and it's fine, you know.
Yeah.
But I loved that I was fired.
Yeah.
It was good. I actually needed it. I was like, this is a tornado. I can't really focus.
Yeah.
And then I was upset, and so I was learning to be social. I never drank in college, so I was drinking. Oh, wow, okay. I learned to drink in Superior.
Yeah, so listen,
okay?
Everybody learned to drink up here. Even if you thought you can drink.
Yeah, right.
Nah.
Right.
Nope.
So I was almost getting my college years out because commuter school, Columbia College was commuter school. Okay. So I was doing that, and I was obsessed with wanting to be working at the station. So I had either internship or I got part-time work or whatever it was. So I never even thought about a college party. I never knew. Yeah. So I came here, and I was like, okay. So that's what I was really learning. But then I went to morning anchor. So if you're doing morning anchor, and then they're sending you out doing a one-man band story, and then you're there till 5 p.m. Damn, now you're pissed. Yeah. And tired. And so you're like, I'm going to the bar. And then it's like 2 a.m. It's like, oh, I have to be up at the whatever. So it was a bad cycle. So I didn't wake up one day, and it was flip phone. I know you told me to wrap it up, but
nope, you good. Flip
phone turned off when I flipped, and that was my alarm. So I woke up laying on my front room. Face forward. I was like, oh, show's on. So I turned it on. I'm not there. Yeah, somebody else was there. So they didn't say anything. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in trouble. I said, I'm coming in. So I worked all day, and then they fired me after I did the story for the day. Okay. All right, there you go. Yeah. So, but I always tell everybody, you gotta be fired. You gotta feel that because then you realize, whether you screwed up or not, or you do better the next time, as long, it's just like do the best you can. If you get fired, it's not a bad word. Like whatever. Yeah. If you got fired for like slashing tires of your boss's car and putting a couple pills in her coffee, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or powder. Yeah. Whatever.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
It's to each his own. That's a good point that you brought up about like sometimes people get so devastated when they get fired because it's a new thing, and it's like, all right, what the hell do I do now? I don't know if I got nothing to fall back on. And, when we were with our last entity, I got fired from there from, said, some of the story, just something that was BS.
I don't even know why, but I know you were gone for a while. And I was like, oh, that sucks. You do a lot.
And I think that really lit a fire under myself to say, okay, the work that we're doing is because, we kind of have led a lot of this work. There's people before us who, paved that way for us to get here. But now, we've really ramped it up and we don't really need to be under anybody anymore, and that fired me up to go out and start our own nonprofit, and now we are absolutely booming, with kids more than we had when we were at the Washington Center, and I think about it all the time. It's like what I thought could have been probably the most devastating moment or the shittiest moment turned out to be probably the biggest, blessing, if you want to call it, that I've ever, encountered, for myself. So I think.
So then what's your group called now?
Neighborhood Youth Services.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
So NYS before, we weren't our own nonprofit because we were under Woodland Hills. And then when Woodland Hills closed, the only two entities that survived was us and Cambria Hills.
Okay.
And then originally, Cambria Hills got picked up by Northwood. And then we got picked up by Lifehouse first. Wild. Not even gonna get into that right now.
Yeah.
We will one day. So then we left from there and then got picked up by Family Freedom Center. Don't even want to get into that.
Right.
We never thought we could get worse than the first. It wasn't even close. Just throwing it out. But so, and that was a probably 4-year ordeal. Well, 3-year ordeal. To I think everybody, and we had all 13 of our staff leave. Everybody left. And you would think that would say something to the outside world, like, okay, something is going on, like you had all your staff leave. But we all got together one day and said, you know what? I mean, this was a day, probably 2 days after I got let go from there and then everybody else left. It was like, all right, we're just about to do it ourselves. And it was scary because like, all right, we not only do we got to apply for this nonprofit and hope we get it, in a short amount of time, but now we got to raise funds for the entire year. We got our nonprofit in 2 weeks, and we raised almost $200,000 in less than a month. It was insane. And I remember the first, and we got a building for free, which is crazy. And I remember the first day we got the keys and we went in there, we all sat down and said, yo, we did it. You know what I mean? Because everybody was stressed, like, we got to find another job. And me and my buddy Steve, who works for me too, he's like, look, our goal is to get everybody out. I said, oh yeah, that's number one. And make sure they all have paying jobs, you know, for the year. And then we can worry about the rest of the funding after that. And then let's figure out how to get our programming up and going and get the kids over and had it rolling.
And they followed.
Oh, everyone. So right now we're averaging a little over 60 kids a day. Wow. And the other day we had 88 in 1,000 square foot space. So, and it goes to show you, like,
come over and do an update on that.
Yeah, you should. That would be really cool. Just to see how much has grown and so many new faces. You know, now we're out west, and VYC, shout out to them because they're the one that gave us the space. They had this.
Who's that?
Valley Youth Center.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Russ. Awesome dudes, you know, and all about community. And when we went to them, I mean, they never hesitated to say, hey, if you need help with some seed money to get started, we'll help you. You know, like, and then they say, we also got a building that we kind of using as storage, but we wanted to be a teen center, but we just haven't used it. But if y'all want to use it, it was like, damn, we got mostly teens. They said, all right, here's the key. Move stuff around as you want. And that was it. Wow. I was like, man. So,
that's a good story. So we talked to you and talked to Valley Youth Center.
Yeah, definitely talk to them too.
And the kids, you know, so many kids, people are trying to work, make money, and where can the kids go? And you know, I'm not doing too much on the street or whatever. So that's great, cool. Yeah. 200. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It's a big deal. We still growing. I mean, right now.
But see what I mean?
Yeah.
You probably thought, oh heck, everything's ending. Mm-hmm. You know, or you're like, what am I going to do? I got to pay my bills. But you know what? Sometimes I feel like if you just, you know, you fall down or whatever. But if you're doing the right thing and it's in your heart, none of the stuff around matters. Even if they treated you poorly or whatever, it's like, okay, all right, I gotta go.
Yeah,
like, respect yourself.
Exactly.
You know,
yep.
And it could be scary, and maybe you're gonna fall in again. But that's what unemployment is for, I think.
Right. Yeah. Right? I mean, they gave us a couple of hours. I wasn't mad, you know.
Right.
Too for a little bit. So.
Oh my God.
So after you got fired, okay, how long did it take you to get into your next place?
Yeah, so what happened?
And what were you thinking at the time?
Oh, I thought the world was ending. The world was ending. Yeah, I thought, oh no. Well, first you're embarrassed. It's kind of, but then I'm a big one where now, I mean, I'll talk about anything, but even back then I was like having a debate of like, do I say anything? Do I not? And I had another media person say, don't say anything, hang low. People are going to think this. And I thought, well, that's stupid. What am I hanging low for? I was fired. And
my name is Dan Hanger.
Fired me. Yeah, well, I was a little twerp then, 2 years. So anyway, yeah, so I did like this little side thing with my friend. We did videos for the airports down in the Twin Cities, just something on our own. I made it, you know, a few $1,000s each, and then I stayed with her for a while, and then I was like, I got to get back into it. I wanted to get back to Duluth, so that was where I was like, I don't want to go back to Chicago. I don't want to do that. I feel like that'd be a failure. So I stayed in Duluth because I liked it, and then I ended up working for Miller Hill Subaru in their marketing for a while. Okay. Oh no, I went to the radio station. That's what I did. Mix 108, B105, and all them. Yeah. Knew the general manager there. She's like, do you want to come work for us? And I'm like, that's not really what I want to do in my life. But it's like, that's another thing I started learning. Just take it. Yeah. I was there for a year. I got comfortable behind a radio. It's totally different. And learned some stuff. And then from there, Miller Hill Subaru wanted me to do something. So I did some marketing and I put my face in it so I'd still be out there.
Like, hey, it's called plugging.
Yeah.
We like that.
Yeah. So then after that, I got a job at Fox 21.
Okay. And
I was like, oh man, you know, I was only in the 20s, and it was, do I want to put my face back out there in Duluth? And I was struggling, and my friend Jeff Anderson, actually, he sat me down. He says, you cannot think about anything in the past. Just prove them wrong and take this job, get back into it. And he was the one that pushed me to do it. And I said,
that's
all
awesome.
right.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff.
Yeah. So I did a reporting there, and then that was for about a year. And miraculously, the anchor who had been there for 4 years prior, who started the news there, so it wasn't that long, left. And so I gunned for it. And I think it was my Facebook people who wrote a lot of letters that helped me push me over the edge there to get the job. But I was shocked. Yeah. I think they're why I've kept my job a few times. But yeah, no, now you know, it's been 14 years there
That's
now.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Which is wild.
How do you feel like you've grown just as a anchor man?
Yeah. I look back at the stuff. I always never wanted to bore people, and I never wanted to be a stiff, fake person. I can't do it. And so I was like, so that's how I got in trouble a few times, a lot, because I was always pushing the envelope, push. And so there's this balance of like, okay, I know news, I do news, I love news, but I also love to entertain, and it's television. So like, how do we mix this? And a lot of times I think the goofiness took over this part, the real important part. And so I kind of had to work through that. And now I have a totally complete fine with like, okay, just your delivery is enough. You don't have to be moving your head around. And then the rest of it, as I'm doing with you, is how I do it on the news. So, yeah. So thankfully, the people that I've worked with, it's been a struggle. There's been certain GMs that are like, hated me or whatever, but we've had good management stretch. And now we got a new group, which they seem to like me. We'll see. But I can only be myself, Yeah. My contract's up in next August, so in April, or hopefully early-ish, if I don't start hearing from them, I'm going to make it real, because who knows? You just don't know.
Yeah.
But hopefully I'll stay. I mean, nobody wants to work, so I tend to win.
For sure.
There,
yeah. No, I think you do a good job. Honestly, I always catch little small clips, and it's always funny. Like you said, it's entertaining because, especially like for younger people, not that I'm much younger than you, but not 40 yet. But anyway. We tend to think like news is boring. They're gonna talk about the same thing. We get sick of it. But for you make it something that everyone can find some humor in. They want to know what's going on. And I like the little small side stuff that you do sometimes of like the pet pictures or what did you do this weekend or stuff like that. It's always fun because I scroll through that thread all the time. I would just be nosy.
See
like
what they're doing,
and it's super cool. And sometimes I'll learn like, damn, I didn't even know this was going on this weekend or something like that, So it's always cool to have those little just interactions and stuff.
Well, like our weather guy, he's almost like the sidekick. I just turn to him whenever. And we have a good director guy that thankfully we're going to keep. I was like, pay him more, please. I was on a campaign the last 3 weeks, get that done. So they actually did. So that's good.
Awesome.
Because, there's old school ways of like, follow the camera. And that's the wrong way. The director should be following me and like living through our moment. You know what I mean? Just like here, you'll do your clips of all that.
Yep.
So you're engaged. So you're like acting normal and real. And so he does that for our 9 o'clock. And the 9 o'clock gives us that, like I can get through, boom, that first block of heavy stuff. Maybe the next block is. But then I got a whole half hour to have a little more fun and lights and
definitely
chat it up. And I can produce the show too. So it's like, we'll just skip some of those and whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I thankfully still like it.
Yeah. Hopefully you like it for a little bit longer. Then you can retire. And
I'll like it once they, bump me up the next contract, hopefully. So.
Facebook, get on it. We can use
one post, the world's going down.
Down.
Yeah, protest outside the station. Whatever. So.
Here's the last question for you.
Yeah.
And we ask everybody this.
Look, we went through it already, huh?
Yeah. See, the time going, it don't even seem like it was
just getting started.
Yeah, we're just rolling. If you could say something to your younger self, what would it be?
Oh, well, what I do tell some of the younger ones, because the younger ones all think they know everything right out of college, and they're smarter than everybody. And I think some of that's natural, and maybe some of it's even getting worse because I think your college professors and stuff, people are all on edge to like tell you the truth because you're going to offend somebody. I'm sorry, but like back, no joke. My professor, the best guy, hard news reporter. Cut the shit, you say whatever. What do you got, Johnson in your hand? Get moving! Now, if he said that today, it'd be a whole booth.
He's out of here.
And I said, you're right, I do. I got to put that away, and I got to get this done. Hit it and quit it, he told me. And so yeah. But I remember that today. And I see him, so anyway. I don't think some of the kids get that. But, okay, so what do they need to know? Take criticism well and learn and take in everything, take in everybody's opinion and mold your own, though, especially for whatever position you're doing, because it's like you want to be your authentic self. So take it all in. Don't be combative. If you don't like something, just keep it in your head. You're working for somebody else. If something is terribly wrong, of course, speak up, pick your battles. But it just, the nicer you are and the more patient you are, and you're the yes person, you're there, you know, keep your boundaries, don't overwork yourself too. That's crazy. I used to work 12, 15 hours. Where'd that get me? The news never stopped. And there's another person to take the job, you know. So yeah, that's all. I just think just chill out. You have plenty of time. Plenty of time. When you think, though, you don't. Even at 41, I'm like, I start thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so in 5 years I'm 45, and then, oh God, 5 more 50? Is that 2 more year contracts? Is that what I want to do? There's other life out there, but take everything, experience it. If you don't like it, quit, move on. You know? Instead of complaining. If you don't like it, get the hell out.
Yeah, that's it. Just go. Yeah.
I mean, if they're crappy, they're crappy. Get out. You know. But of course, if they overstep an inappropriate line, look, there goes my OCD. I just saw a string on your thing.
It happens.
Anyway, so yeah.
Well, dude, I appreciate you being on with us and spending some time. It was cool to hear your story. I didn't even know you was from Chicago.
Yeah.
But look at me learning stuff.
Well, you know, and I love that city, actually. So I was back there in August, and I was there for a good, 2 weeks. And that's where all my family is, my nieces and nephews and stuff. So I like to see them, and it's a beautiful city. I think it gets a bad rap. It goes through its own struggles, just like anything. Just like downtown Duluth. It's not the end of the world there. You'll be all right.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Some people are different than you. Yeah, do whatever you need. So yeah, I still like it, but I love it here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm locked in. I tell people I ain't going nowhere. Duluth is.
How old are you now?
30. About to be 33.
33.
Yeah,
wow.
in November.
Wow. So yeah, you got a lot to go.
Yeah.
You got a lot more to go.
I think so.
I was fired twice.
Oh,
I forgot. That's important.
Yeah. Well,
I was fired.
Tell us about the second one.
It'll be a quick one.
Yeah.
So I tried working at Miller Hill Subaru in the marketing and stuff. They said, "Oh, you're gonna do marketing," and they're great people. It's a great dealership. They do a lot of good stuff for the animals too. But I couldn't sell the cars. I already told that I'm not gonna be able to sell cars. I don't. Oh, they sell them themselves. They sell them themselves. Okay. I sold one to a friend. I didn't know what I was doing. They're like, "Yeah, my dad says I gotta let you go because you're just not bringing any money in." I said, "All right." I told you. So I left and went to Fox.
I got fired from Kohler.
Oh,
yeah.
Car dealership's hard.
Yeah, but I wasn't even selling cars.
What were you doing?
A shuttle driver. I was a shuttle driver. Oh. And this lady, I told this story before, but we might as well share a quick fire story. I was the shuttle guy. You know what I mean? Like I used to throw dance parties in the car, jumping. I got tipped. One day I got tipped like $150 for 3 hours. So much fun. But one day this lady had said, "Oh, look, I really got to get to work. I'm late for a meeting. Like, can you give me that?" I was like, "Yeah, I got you." You know what I mean? So put the music on, we gone.
Pretty fast.
I'm not really moving, but I'm a little couple over. Right. We get there. She tipped me like $20. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you got. I made it in time. Next thing I know, I get back. She calls Kohler and say, "Hey, I just want you to know that this guy was speeding." So they pull me. It's the end of the day now. They pull me in, and "Hey, Pez, just gotta let you know we gotta let you go." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Stop!
For what?
You're lying." I'm joking. I'll be having fun. And the lady who fired me, like, a real good friend of mine, she was like almost about to cry. She was so sad. And I was like, "What did I do?" Then she said, "Yeah, some lady called us early in the day. Said you took her to work, but you was speeding." And I was like, "The one that tipped me?" Like, what are you talking?
$20 and said, "Get me there now."
What are you talking? So there's like, yeah. And because she called and said you were speeding, like, we gotta let you go. I was like,
well, they don't gotta do anything, by the way.
Yeah. So whatever.
Whatever. I go to Kohler. I like Kohler.
Me too.
Okay, we're just real.
Yeah, they still my dogs. I'll be there soon because Trunk or Treat is coming up and they give us $1,000.
All right.
So remember that. Remember it.
Yeah.
I maybe want 2 this year.
Yeah.
So. Anyway,
funny.
Thanks again for joining us.
Yeah.
It was a good time. And thank everybody for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.
That's right.